Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Nutrition in Cancer Care. I'm Emily Heckman, a cancer care coach and oncology social worker here at Jasper, and I'll be co-hosting our webinar today. We are so excited that you are able to join us. Before we get started on the webinar, I want to share a few housekeeping notes. You'll notice that everyone's mics are muted and cameras are turned off. This is intentional, just to keep the focus on our speaker today. Please reach out to support@hellojasper.com if you're experiencing ongoing technical issues. But please note our limited capacity to address issues while the webinar is running. But these concerns will be addressed at the conclusion of the webinar. We are recording the webinar and we'll upload it to our website. Please make sure to include any questions you have in the chat box so that we can address all questions at the end of the presentation. I want to start today with a quick poll question for you to answer if you would. The question is, do you feel you would benefit from having one-on-one personalized support surrounding nutrition? I'll just give you a few minutes to go ahead and complete that. Thank you very much for taking time to answer those. Let's take a look at what you can expect during today's webinar. Today's session will focus on a few key areas. First, we will share a little bit about Jasper and the programs available to you. We'll then answer the loaded question, why does nutrition matter? We will review food groups and the importance of portioning. We'll then dive into both your physical needs and how your diet directly affects your mood and emotional state. Then we'll discuss how to start making small changes today to see big results tomorrow by learning how to conquer food sovereignty and taking advantage of the resources available to you. We will also take you alongside one of our members' journey on her participation in our Coach Plus nutrition pathway. Lastly, of course, we will end with some time to answer questions. I am so thrilled to co-host today's webinar with my fellow coworker, Haley, and so glad you can join us to learn more about nutrition. Currently, we are supporting approximately 16,000 members and caregivers today as they navigate their cancer journey. Before I introduce our speaker today, I just want to mention Jasper Cancer Care Coaches are oncology trained and range with a wide variety of expertise as nutritionists, registered nurses, social workers, and financial counselors. However, our cancer care coaches do not provide advice on treatment decisions, nor provide or supplement clinical care from your current healthcare professional team. As coaches, our scope of practice focuses on psychosocial care, which is a whole person approach to cancer care, addressing the social, emotional, spiritual, and physical aspects with an emphasis focusing on members' strengths, interests, and natural motivation to provide confidence, empowerment, and self-advocacy along their cancer journey. Let me now introduce you to our speaker today. Haley Harris is a holistic nutritionist and cancer care coach at Jasper. Previously, she was an EMT and hospital administrator and has been in the healthcare sector for about 9 years. Along her journey, she has had the pleasure of helping others during some of the most difficult times in their lives. According to Haley, being able to support others during these times of need is an honor and a privilege, a true life calling. Haley's goal at Jasper is to guide our members and caregivers through support and resources and being that much needed shoulder to lean on so that a member and or caregiver never feels alone in this journey. Haley currently lives in Idaho with her fur baby and best friend, Benji. She also enjoys spending time outdoors and fishing. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm Emily Heckman, an oncology social worker and a care coach here at Jasper. I have over 15 years of clinical experience, with oncology being my true passion. I enjoy providing insight and promoting excellence in psychosocial care to members, families, caregivers, and the community. My goal is to meet each member where they are and help guide them through whatever they may be experiencing. I live in Missouri with my husband and 2 teenage daughters, and I enjoy just spending time with family and friends in any free time that I have. Just a little fun fact. Jasper is named after the Jasper crystal, which is known as the supreme nurturer. It is said to empower the spirit and support people through times of stress by preparing them to fully show up. It is claimed to protect you from and absorb negative vibes while promoting courage, quick thinking, and confidence. Now, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Jasper and the programs available to you. So the problem that Jasper Health is addressing is the lack of whole person support and the gaps in holistic care. The Jasper app acts as a smart planner, tracking tool, and is a resource hub all in one. And our Jasper coaches act as an extension of traditional care and are available 24/7 to address aspects of the whole person, like helping with appointments, providing financial guidance and mental health support, nutrition and meal planning, remission and survivorship support, and so much more. Jasper is available to anyone living with cancer. When enrolled, members receive custom recommendations, are able to track their moods and symptoms, and are provided educational articles based on the interests and the side effects they indicate. Our members receive one-on-one support and guidance through personalized plans and psychosocial support. Before I hand this over to Haley, let's take a moment to answer yet another poll question. And I will give you a minute or two to answer. How would you describe your current diet? Please select one that is most appropriate for you. Give you just a couple more seconds. Thank you guys very much for participating in that. And now I will turn it over to Haley, the one you came to hear from today.
Well, thank you so much, Emily, on giving our attendees here an insight on who Jasper is and how we help our members each day. I really appreciate it. So why is nutrition even important while going through cancer treatment? You know, if you stop and think of how much our bodies do for us and the various functions it performs on a day-to-day basis, it really begs the question, well, it must get us energy from somewhere, right? So feeding our bodies healthy, whole foods supports not only our basic bodily functions, but also the extra fuel it needs to undergo cancer treatment. And as many of you in this group today know, cancer treatment can be excruciating on the body, and it takes an unexpected toll at times. So by feeding your body the proper foods and enough of those foods, you will be providing your system, every system in your body, with the energy, vitamins, and nutrients it needs to support you during your cancer treatment. So here, I just want to touch on how can food choices really affect cancer. So to take our previous point even further, some foods affect them indirectly and indirectly. So I'm sure many of us have heard that sugar and processed foods have been shown to increase cancer cells reproducing and spreading throughout the body, as well as increasing the risk in already high risk individuals. So, however, on the opposite end, there are foods that may help fight off those cancer cells. Things such as leafy greens, healthy fats, and lean proteins, for just an example. Whole foods and eating a balanced diet, they have been shown to support the body during cancer treatment. So they supply our bodies with the needed vitamins, minerals, and nutrients it needs to battle cancer, including sustaining energy levels throughout the day, maintaining mental fortitude, and increasing physical longevity, all of which are vital to living a healthy lifestyle, whether you are undergoing cancer treatment or not. So now that we kind of understand why nutrition matters, I really want to dive into the overwhelming feeling of, what do I eat during my cancer journey and what does it mean to eat a balanced diet? So the best way to help calm those overwhelming feelings is to start with simple steps. So you may have learned about the food pyramid at one point or another, whether middle school, high school, college, just friend to friend interactions. The USDA has replaced that with My Plate, which is represented here on the slide. So this is just a representation of how to build your plate to reflect a balanced diet. So if you look at this here, you can see a balanced meal contains 5 food groups. So we're looking at fruits, vegetables, proteins, and dairy. And ensuring that you have one serving of each food group for every meal will provide you with the needed nutrients and the sufficient calories to sustain your body throughout the treatment process. So maintaining a healthy body weight is essential, as we all know, but it can be difficult for many cancer patients undergoing treatment. We see a lot of nausea, upset stomach, heartburn, that metallic taste in the back of your mouth. But I do want you to know, like, here at Jasper, we do strive to help you bridge that gap. So we want to bridge those barriers and help you reach those goals without any judgment there. So on the top left-hand side of the plate, we can see that it's made up of fruits and vegetables. So these can be fresh, canned, or frozen. So if you do choose the non-fresh option, so you lean towards canned or frozen, that's totally okay. But we want to make sure that we're leaning towards the no sugar added, no sodium added options if that is available to you. This just ensures that you get the healthiest option. Veggies and fruits are a great source of vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants, which they really help really rid off those cancer cells and help those healthy cells reproduce, fight off those unhealthy cells, and provide your body with what it needs to function properly day to day. Next up is grains. So you can see this makes up 1/4 of your plate. Here we really want to opt for whole grains. So here we want to think brown rice, whole wheat breads, whole wheat pastas, rather than the processed and white grains. So when I say unprocessed and white grains, I mean white rice, white breads, and white pastas. The more whole a food is, the more nutrients it's going to pack in that serving of grains. So ultimately, that's going to sustain your energy levels throughout the day without spiking your blood sugar, which causes that afternoon crash that we are so familiar with. Grains also provide your body with that excellent source of carbohydrates. So that's going to feed your body's functions. It's going to fuel you throughout the day, and it's really going to feed those brain cells throughout the whole day, and especially during the cancer treatment process. And what I like to call the star of the show, which is protein, there are countless ways to get your daily protein in. We want to think very lean meats. If you're not a vegetarian, lean cuts of beef, white meat on poultry, such as chicken or turkey. Eggs are great, legumes such as beans, peas, and lentils. And even some vegetables do pack a little bit of protein in them. And I just want to note that having an adequate amount of protein in your diet will really help you with that physical longevity. It'll help keep your brain fresh and ongoing throughout the day, and really help stabilize those carbohydrate energy levels throughout the day as well. As you can see on the top right, we do see a small amount of dairy throughout the day. So when we think of dairy, we really want to aim for those low fat options. So reduced fat milk or even no fat milk, milks, cheese, and cottage cheese. So moving on to some research guidelines. So these are specific to the American Institute of Cancer Research's guidelines. These are a few basic, very simple guidelines to incorporate into your day-to-day life, not only for cancer prevention, but also to get through treatment and to even survive after you're in remission. So we've heard, healthy weight, healthy weight, healthy weight. We want to be as lean as possible without becoming underweight. Also be physically active for at least 30 minutes a day. Physically active can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. We, of course, probably know people that climb mountains in their spare time. Physically active can also mean walking to and from your post office box. Doing that a few times a day, whatever that activity means to you, is perfectly okay as long as your body gets moving for 30 minutes a day. At all costs, we want to avoid sugary drinks. So limit that consumption of energy dense foods. High processed foods, again, the processed foods. Also foods that are high in sugar and low in fiber or high in fat. A really good example of this would be breakfast cereals. They're very high in sugar, don't have a lot of nutrients packed in them, and they are very low in fiber most of the time. Also eat more of a variety of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. So I like to say eat the rainbow. So don't eat broccoli, chicken, and rice every day. Try to make a variety, make it fun. Eating the rainbow should be fun. We should look forward to making our meals. And limit the consumption of red meats. So when I say red meats, I mean beef, pork, and lamb, and avoid processed meat such as lunch meat, smoked sausages. A good rule of thumb here is if you look at the ingredients list and you can't pronounce one of the ingredients, it probably isn't that clean. So we want to stick to those whole clean foods. And also, if consumed, we want to limit alcoholic drinks to 2 per day for men and 1 per day for women. Of course, none is better, but if you must drink them, try to stay within those guidelines. Also, limit salty foods and processed foods with added sodium. So if you remember when I mentioned eating more vegetables, we want to opt for those fresh, frozen, and canned options that don't have any added sodium or added sugar to them. And we also don't want to rely on supplements alone. So we want to try to get all of our nutrients and vitamins and minerals from the food we are consuming. We don't want to have to rely on supplements when possible. Of course, they're a great way to add to our already existing diet, but we should try as much as possible to get them from our foods. And as we all know, no smoking or chewing tobacco. So now that we've gone through how food directly affects your body, I can assume some of you are like, Haley, that's great, but how do I start? We want to keep this as simple as possible. So again, we want to eliminate the overwhelming feeling. Making healthy choices should be a great thing in your life, and it shouldn't be something that causes you stress or anxiety. Again, that's why we're here. It's why we're all here today. So there is not an elaborate formula to eat healthy. Add more healthy foods to each meal, eat the rainbow, and remember your My Plate portions and how that plate really looks. We want to also focus on today. So what can you do today or your next meal to eat a more balanced diet? Just remember, it takes 30 days, 30 whole days to make a good habit, and it takes 90 days to break a bad one. So if you focus on each day, I'm going to get through today and eat 3 really balanced meals. Do that every day. By the time you know it, you have your 30 days. That habit is built. It just becomes second nature to you. And by far the most important point I want to make is to reach out for guidance and support, whether that's your own family members, friends, but also here at Jasper, we do have a whole care team ready and able to support and guide you through your nutrition journey. We also have some amazing nonprofit partners that that offer resources nationwide. So if you think that you really need that guidance, that high touch, you are more than welcome to email us at wecare@hellojasper.com, and we can get started on this journey together. Okay, so we've gone through quite a bit about nutrition, but now comes a more sensitive topic, the financial distress and food sovereignty. This is very real for a lot of our members. I know that we have personally either gone through this or have known somebody else that has. And financial barriers are common for patients undergoing cancer treatment. This stress can not only be put on the individual going through that treatment, but also their families. And a big misconception I hear practically every day is I can't afford to buy health foods or that organic foods are the healthy foods. I do beg to argue that healthy, nutritious food does not have to mean a heftier and higher price tag. If you remember the slide earlier that addressed the various food groups, there isn't, like I said, an elaborate formula to achieving a healthy and balanced diet. Eat enough throughout the day, eat the rainbow, eat a variety of foods from all the food groups. And that's pretty much the gist of it. And here at Jasper, as you may have caught on by now, we do strive to support each member and their caregivers as a whole person and not just one issue at a time. So with that being said, we are dedicated to guide you in the right direction when it comes to finding nutritional and financial resources that are available and specific to you, and your situation. So alongside us, we do have some nonprofit partners that I mentioned before. We work very closely with them, and they have extensive programs to support you during those financially distressing times. So if you feel that you may need assistance, again, please feel free to reach us at wecare@hellojasper.com, and we can get started on finding you those resources. Everybody deserves to have nutritious food in their pantry, in their fridge, and we are definitely here to help with that. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Emily to speak a little bit about how nutrition affects your mood.
Thank you, Haley. Just a friendly reminder to all of those joining us today. I am not a dietitian or a nutritionist, and the following information was provided through various research-driven resources. But as an oncology social worker, I've learned that the emotional side to nutrition is just as important as the food you eat. Let's start by asking a quick question. In your head, fill in the blank that is on the screen. You are what you... Many of us have heard the saying, you are what you eat. Today, Haley has spoken about the importance of eating a well-balanced diet during and after cancer treatment, as well as exploring what foods may affect cancer. Again, as an oncology social worker, I work with individuals to help them address the emotional side of a cancer diagnosis. With this being said, today I want to take a quick dive into how foods can affect our mood. Evidence suggests that as well as affecting our physical health, what we eat may also affect the way we feel. There have been many evidence-based studies over the years that have shown that if you are eating a healthy balance of whole foods that contain a variety of nutrients, you're more likely to feel calmer, more content, and generally in a better mood. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Tell me more about these foods, please. Let's start with the dreaded word calories. It seems like when we want to lose weight, that's the first thing we consider, our calorie intake. But not consuming enough calories, just like many undergoing cancer treatment often experience just due to lack of appetite, having a metallic taste in their mouth, etc. This can lead to problems such as impaired decision making, can slow down reaction time, and cause fatigue. In fact, a poor diet can actually aggravate and may even lead to stress and depression. Next, If you're not getting enough essential food groups, your body is missing out on essential nutrients that are needed to fuel itself. These nutrients produce serotonin, which is known as the brain's feel-good chemical. This affects your mood, motivation, and concentration. This is why it's important to eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables. You've heard that before today, haven't you? Also, this can be said about essential vitamins and minerals, for example, iron. If you're lacking these, this could lead to depression, inability to stay focused, and oftentimes chronic fatigue. And don't forget about those omega-3 fatty acids. They are important in these essentials as well. These fatty acids can be found in fish, walnuts, and flax seeds and can help fight off feelings of depression. With so many food options available to us today, many of these are considered processed foods, again, like Haley has already talked about. We all know that processed foods may add to our waistline, but can also result in us feeling sluggish, as well as affecting insulin levels and possible inflammation concerns. As I conclude on how foods affect our mood, let's remind ourselves, we are what we eat. Without a steady source of fuel from the foods we eat, our minds and bodies don't function well. I'll now turn it back over to Haley.
All right, thank you so much, Emily. So now that we have gained some knowledge surrounding your diet, and it affects on your mind and body, let's meet one of our members, Jane, and walk along her journey with Jasper Coach Plus. So Jasper Coach Plus, just to let you know, is a specialized program that gives you personalized, high-touch interactions with your care coach and tailored plans to fit your needs, interests, and your lifestyle. You can find out more about our Coach Plus program by visiting our website and logging into your Jasper account, or by reaching out to our care team, again, at wecare@hellojasper.com. So Miss Jane here, she is a 67-year-old mother of 2 adult children and is a retired banker living in Minnesota. Recently, she was diagnosed with a stage 3A breast cancer after finding a lump on an at-home self-examination. So Jane, she is currently in treatment and she heard about Jasper through her friend who is also a member. While in search of support in her area, Jane was unable to find the nutritional support she desperately needed. So she decided to reach out to us here at Jasper to see how we could help. She expressed to us that her goals for herself include learning more about foods that may help alleviate some of the symptoms that she's been receiving from treatment, and also how to maximize her health through food and lower her stress and anxiety. With her primary focus being nutrition and optimizing her diet and her nutritional abundance, Jane was assigned to me to be her care coach throughout her program journey. This is a brief overview of Jane's journey and the expectations that we set for that journey for Jane. We focus on an individualized nutrition plan personalized to your condition and your life priorities. So this plan, we will guide you every step of the way. So what to eat, what foods to avoid, how to get organized in the kitchen, and how to do your grocery shopping. Just make that easier and help you choose foods and how to make it happen all within your own current lifestyle, understanding your family life, work environment, and social life. So our goal is to ultimately reduce side effects and complications associated with your treatment and restoring the body, as well as establishing an improved immune system to ultimately reduce the chance of the cancer coming back. Because we focus on your body as a whole, so you hear the word holistic, that's a whole body approach. Rather than just a cancer diagnosis, the practice of nutritional wellness is extremely important, and not only those undergoing treatment, but also those who may be at high risk for cancer, and even those who have gone into remission already. Ultimately, through the use of these nutritional interventions, we can help alleviate symptoms of cancer and its treatment, educate you on a balanced lifestyle, and support you and your loved ones in leading an overall healthier lifestyle. So to wrap up Jane's journey here, I just want to share, how is Jane really doing after all of this? So Jane and I are going on at about 3 months together, almost 4. She continues to stay in regular contact with me for support and encouragement. So even though she graduated from our nutrition program through the Coach Plus, she does now feel empowered to cook. She shares her recipes with her family and loved ones, and she really just truly is that inspiration that not only us as care coaches need, but she's an inspiration to, I'm hoping, all of you as well. And I'm very happy and blessed to have been a part of her life and her journey throughout this program. So shifting gears a little here, we've talked a little bit about the Coach Plus program and kind of what that entails. I just want to kind of go over what a little bit more about what it is and kind of how you can sign up for that as well. So during the presentation, we've touched on it's a very personalized service. I also want to note that it is a 24/7 service that gives you a one-on-one support with a dedicated cancer care coach. So that care coach will tailor to your journey to fit your needs, lifestyle, and your health goals ultimately. We have made it simple for you to sign up for Coach Plus. So if you download the Jasper app on your smartphone, or you can even visit the website on your computer, which is myhellojasper.com. Upon logging into your account, you will see the Get Coach Plus on the right-hand side of your planner view. We will want you to go ahead and click on that. And then from there, you will be prompted to enter in payment information. Just a side note, that payment information is secure. Also, we do know that there are some of you on this webinar today that could benefit from Coach Plus, but you may need that extra support, again, the financial distress. So if this is you and you feel like you really need that extra little support in the financial area, please email us at wecare@hellojasper.com and we can see what we can do to help you get started with Coach Plus. We really do stand by our statement of a better cancer care experience for all at Jasper Health. Um, excuse me. After you have completed the payment, you will receive a notification and email to complete your new member intake evaluation and to also schedule that first one-on-one session with your care coach. But don't do anything quite yet when you see that. We do have a Jasper member specialist that will reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours to help support you on setting up that account, walking you through the product features, helping you get really comfortable and familiar with all of our features on the app, and completing your intake evaluation and scheduling you for that first session with your care coach. This is just to ensure that you are set up for success and are ultimately going to get everything you can out of the program, just like Jane did.
Well, before we open the chat for questions, let's review what we've already talked about today. You have gained a better understanding of what the various food groups are, how your diet affects your overall health, and we're provided an insight on one of our members. Let's see what questions have come through the chat. Okay. Haley, it looks like we have a question for you.
Okay.
If I need help with nutrition, where do I start?
I would say reaching out to us here at Jasper. Like I said before, we do have a really great care team on board. It's not just me, there's Emily. We have a whole team here ready to support you in that nutrition journey. So emailing us again at wecare@hellojasper.com would be a great place to start.
Very good. Thank you. And the next one is actually for me, just a question. Do I feel like there are enough nutritional resources for cancer patients? In the years of oncology work that I've been doing, I always encourage people to consider their local food pantries or even their area Department of Health Services for available options. A lot of times I find that people aren't aware of what's already there and available in their community. So that's where I would start. And then I'm keeping an eye on the clock too. It looks like we've got time to answer one more question. For this one is for you, Haley. What would you like to leave everyone thinking about today?
I would say, what is one change that you can make today to make a big impact tomorrow on your health?
Well said. Thank you. Thank you. Before we dismiss, I just want to remind everyone that our next webinar will be next Thursday, September 29th at 2 o'clock Central Time, where we will be able to learn more about the cancer support community of the Greater Ann Arbor. We will take a deep dive into available nutritional resources that they offer nationwide. And I do know that following this webinar, you guys will receive an email, and in that email, we will make sure that we put the link for you to register for that next webinar in there. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.